So today we've got for you a WildAx Constellation XL handover. We'll begin at the front of the vehicle. In underneath the passenger seat you've got your toolkit, and then below the carpet access for the engine battery. Pull back for your bonnet release, which is at the end of the dashboard. Fuel filler cap, ignition key in, and it should release, and then you've got your access point for your AdBlue just below. When we go under the bonnet, it's just the lever in the centre, and your bonnet stay up. Right over on the extreme left hand side you've got your screen wash. With this being a Series 8, you have an electric assist pump, so there's no reservoir for the power steering, so you just have your brake fluid and your radiator. Oil filler cap is centrally located. Electronic dipstick. If you ever need to jump start the vehicle, then the advice is to pop open this little paddle clip down here, patch your positive onto that section, and then the negative goes up onto this centre bolt in the middle of the engine bay. When we move down the side of the vehicle, we've got two taps which are underslung. We've got a fresh water and a wastewater tap. These are connected up to those applicable tanks, and those tanks have also got tank heaters on them as well. We've got the exhaust vent. There's a little bit of condensation plume coming off it at the moment because we've got the heating on inside the vehicle. And then your fresh water inlet is just further back. Similar to your filler cap on the opposite side, you key in and twist, and then your hose pipe can go straight in. There's an overflow which is centrally located when you get to the capacity of the tank. And for winter storage, obviously open up your tank valves so that you can drain everything off. Towards the back of the vehicle, we've got the mains hookup. My advice would always be to connect to the side of the van first of all and push your socket in, and then connect up onto the oil grid. When we open up at the back of the vehicle, we've got the access to your LPG gas cylinder. It's all strapped in, and you have a main isolation valve on the top of the cylinder, so turn it all the way clockwise to turn the gas supply off, turn it all the way anti-clockwise to allow the gas flow to go through to your appliances. In the opposite locker, we've got your toilet cassette. This is the Dometic version. So with the flap shut inside, you should be able to push up on the lime green lever and pull the whole cassette all the way out. On a campsite, you'll have a collection point for these to go into. So take the black cap off the top, tip the whole unit up, and then press in the lime green button at the top. Before you load it back in, you put your chemicals in. Up here in the Highlands, we always recommend the green chemicals. So that could be the sachets, the pods, or the liquid. Mix with about 2 litres of water, and then slide the whole cassette back in. There is a pull-out handle if you want to run it on the wheels. And load it back in, and it's ready for use. For the operation of the TLA awning, tee up into the slot and wind your awning out towards you. It's a bit windy today, so we're going to do an abridged version. Don't recommend putting these out in winds above about 5 miles an hour. Located up inside the helmet, you've got 2 push-in legs. Drop them down and feed them through, and then lock off your lever on each side. The full extension on these are about 2.5 meters. Lock that leg off like so. All right, but they are designed as sunshades. Wet or windy conditions, they need to be put away. There is a rail on the inside of the helmet if you want to attach on additional awnings or screens. To fold it away, back up, and lock the legs back in on their spring-loaded mounts. And then back through on that one. Make sure that the feet are away properly. Otherwise, you won't be able to retract the awning properly. And then wind your awning back in. So we've moved inside the van, and up behind the back of the passenger seat, you've got your 12-volt control panel. So you have a master switch at the base for turning on 12-volt supply. You get a little bleep from it. And then once that's reset itself back to the date, time and levels, you can then turn on your 12-volt supply, and that will give you access then to your water pump, your interior lights, as you can see. Separate switch for the water pump, on and off to meet demand. Outside awning light. You can adjust the brightness of these center lights as well. Going to your program functions for things like changing the background color of the screen, and then your fresh water and battery level indications for your battery sets. We've already turned your gas supply on at the bottle. There is an additional isolation tap underneath the cooker that you could use in addition to switching off the gas bottle. Having connected up your gas supply, it's worthwhile just burning some gas off on the hob just to make sure you've got that continuity of supply coming through. Hold them in for a couple of seconds and light up all the burners. No isolators on the lids to make sure that the appliance is thoroughly cooled down. Don't try and bring the lid down over the flame, it will shatter the glass. Pop the new grill pan out the way for a second and you go anti-clockwise to light up the oven at the back, centre off, and you go clockwise to light up the grill at the top. Voila. We've pulled forward the forward-facing seat so that we can open up the 12-volt supply. So you've got your leisure battery that's centrally located. Along the back wall, you've got your mains RCD, your 12-volt interior fuses, and also your battery charger. So all the time that you're plugged in onto the main supply, there is a feed going back into this battery. Underneath the bench seat on the opposite side, we have your diesel electric water heater. The redeeming feature on this is that you've got a manual drain valve. So for winter storage, this lever has to go up to the vertical position to allow the content of the water heater to drain out. Restore it back to a horizontal position in either direction. Turn on your water pump and draw water through from the fresh water tank up through all of your taps. Start off with the kitchen taps to make sure that you've got that continuity supply and then work your way into the bathroom before you turn on your water heating systems. This is your trimmer control panel for the diesel and electric heating system. So press the home button and you should see the control panel light up, and then you can go through your various notifications. Having purged water through the entire system for the interior of the van, you can access your water heating. You could use the room climate system on its own if you preferred. Select your heating mode and then select your temperature that's desired, and then it will roll through into its settings. If you want to change what is being consumed, you can turn off the diesel, you can turn the electric down, you can use a combination of diesel and electric if you wish, subject to the right amount of supplies. If you were wild camping, you would be using the diesel only, for example. If you are connected to a campsite, then you will be switching the diesel system off. It will then basically assume that you've got those settings correct, and it will start going through a procedure for warming the vehicle up to the temperature that you've selected. You'll hear the speed decline in the fans once it's reached that setting. Return back to the home screen, and it's a similar story with the water heating. We can turn it on. We can choose what energy supply we want to use with the water heating. We can increase or decrease the water temperature. So as I say, if we're just maybe doing washing up, or if you're actually wanting to have a shower, and it will control those systems from there. There is an option of setting these up to an iNet system if you wanted to control the unit from your mobile phone device, for example. Other than that, it's all simple and straightforward. When you are decommissioning it, however, I would always recommend that everything is turned off on a specific appliance. So you'll see these green lines disappear. All right. You can go into a turn off mode and just put it onto a standby, or you can turn it off completely, let the whole system completely close down, and then you can then turn off your 12-volt supply at the main control panel. 12-volt fridge. Turn your white button to blue by pressing on it for a couple of seconds, and you'll see the screen light up. You can adjust the temperature settings on the fridge. Just tap onto these controls, and as the white squares or cubes appear or diminish, then it's indicating your settings, and you've got a separate control for the freezer section as well. Nighttime, they do have a compressor in them. You can put it into a nighttime mode if you wish, and that will just reduce the noise that comes from the compressor. When you don't want to use the appliance anymore, simply press the hold the button for a couple of seconds, and it will turn it back to that white setting and turn the 12-volt supply off. Domestic toilet, up on your lid, pull your wastegate all the way forward. With the water pump on, you should be able to press in on this button here, and you'll get your electric flush around the inside of the bowl. The other display characters that come up here show you when the cassette isn't being correctly inserted, when the cassette is about half full, and when the cassette is approaching full. After your use, just push the slider back in, stops any smells or odours coming back up through. So the setup for the beds, a single bed, you're just going to take away the backrest and you can sleep this way with the van. There is the option of using a zip-on cushion which goes into here if you want to extend the bed length just slightly. For the passenger side bed, you need to completely unfurl the whole mechanism, strip away the backrest cushion and also remove the base cushion. Before it completely unfolds, it needs to sit onto this ledge at the back of the passenger seat. Cushions then drop back down. This one here goes around the A post, B post I should say, and then your main cushions go to there. And take away the infill. On the opposite side then, there's a centre lever that you pull forward, pull the whole thing all the way out of the way, drop it down, and then push your backrest down. And again, if you wish to extend the bed that little bit further, then there is a zip-on cushion which is designed to go in just there to give you that bed extension. You got Remus blinds and fly screens in the front of the vehicle, so for the operation of side blinds, they're magnetic strips, and then for similar story for the centre ones as well. Draw them together and the magnetic strips draw back up. Just make sure that they are properly clicked back into position before you travel. Over on the driver's door, you've got your toggle for adjusting all of your mirrors and your electric window controls. This van is fitted with an auto stop start system, so when the vehicle is idling, perhaps at traffic lights, you may well find that it cuts off. There is an overriding switch that you can use if you want to turn that one down. Otherwise, it's your rear fog lamps and your headlamp beam adjustment to adjust for the levelling and the load within the vehicle. On the Series 8, you twist the stalk for your wiper controls, and then it's back for your rinse. And then on the light controls, again, you twist the stalk and then away for main beam and back to cancel or back to flash. You've got controls in the centre, which are for your speed limiters and cruise control, and then your volume for your radio controls. Centrally located, you've got heated wing mirrors, which can be isolated from there and turned on and turned off, a central locking button, and your ASR, which can be disabled if you're maybe driving on wet grass or snow and wanted direct wheel to throttle control. USB feeds will go through and charge up, and there is another USB feed at the front of above the cup holders, which then feeds back up into your media system as well. So that concludes the handover for this Constellation XL. Sincerely hope that you've enjoyed the presentation. Hopefully this van's going to give you lots of miles and lots of smiles. On behalf of Heineken Camper Vans, thank you for watching.